Breaking news in a CBS Sports HQ, and it is a big get for the Gamecocks. Gigi Jackson making it official. He's headed to South Carolina this fall. Our partners at 24/7 Sports ranked Jackson as the #1 recruit in the class of 2023. He backed off from his initial commitment to the North Carolina Tar Heels last week. The 6'9" forward will reclassify to the class of 2022 and play this season for the Gamecocks. Jackson is the highest ranked recruit in South Carolina history, a huge get for new coach Lamont Paris. And for more, we say hello to 24/7 Sports Director of Scouting, Adam Finkelstein. Adam, as we take a look at this big-time news coming down, your initial reaction and the timing of it all coming on the back end of the Peach Jam, which you were in attendance at. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, this happened almost immediately after Gigi's. He plays for Team CP3. As soon as they were out of contention and they finished, the announcement happened within hours. So I honestly expected him to give it a little bit of breathing room, maybe wait till Monday, but really didn't even pretend that it was anything but this. I mean, I think the only reason this didn't happen a week ago is because he wanted to play in the Peach Jam. He wanted to finish his EYBL season with Team CP3. That's Chris Paul's AAU team. They were considered one of the best teams in the country. They thought they had a chance to win it this week. It didn't go quite their way, but as soon as that was over, he announced his reclassification. The reason he could not announce it prior to this was because if he were entering college, he would have been ineligible to play in the Peach Jam. So he waited till it was over. He made his announcement, and this was a very badly kept secret over the course of the last week or two.
Navigating the ever-changing landscape of college athletics and making sure eligibility is at the forefront here. You've given us the who and the what. But now give me the why. Why is the #1 recruit in the class heading to South Carolina, not known as a hotbed for hoop, but right now a changing of the tide perhaps behind that name?
Well, this was initially going to be the plan when Frank Martin was the head coach. It was widely speculated that Gigi intended to reclassify, commit to South Carolina, and go play for Frank Martin next year. Of course, Frank Martin was let go as the head coach. They didn't have any sort of pre-existing relationship with the new staff, so they committed to North Carolina. But then, the wheels started to turn again. South Carolina, the hometown school, really made a pitch to get him back. And the reality is this, is by reclassifying, he makes himself eligible for next June's NBA draft. And the opportunity is much more significant next season at South Carolina than it would be at North Carolina, where they have one of the best rosters in the country. I'm of the opinion that all the eyeballs on him are going to make this a proposition that has some risk to it too, because he's not a guy who's ready to be the focal point of a college offense from day one. He's a very talented prospect. There's a reason he was #1 in the country. But in terms of college-ready go-to scorer, I'm just not sure he's ready to do that yet. But that is very possibly going to be the role that is thrust upon him immediately at South Carolina.
Yeah, I do want to talk about some of those long-term effects of this reclassification, because as it stands, Gigi becomes the 6th prospect who held the #1 spot at some time to reclassify in the last 4 recruiting classes. He's joining the likes of Anthony Edwards, Jonathan Kuminga, Amani Bates, Jalen Duran, and Shaden Sharp. This is the way of the world when you got the #1 next to your name now. Can we project this out 5-10 years and look at these young men, their careers, not just at the collegiate level, however brief they may be, but at the professional level, what this means for their development?
Well, I think, the reason being is it's about the collective bargaining agreement, and that's an NBA contract between the NBA and the Players Association that requires potential players coming into the draft to be not only 18 years old, but a year removed from high school. So that's why you're seeing so many players reclassify, so they can get to the draft a year earlier than they otherwise would have, regardless of how old Gigi is. Has he done another year of high school and then done a year of college, it would have been 2 years before he could get to the NBA. So to put it plainly, it's just kind of a race to the money. You get there as quickly as you possibly can. But that's in the short term. The long term is that Gigi's got a game that may translate better to college than it does to the NBA. And as I said, there's some questions about how he translates to college. This week at the Peach Jam, he had tons of NBA scouts there, and they were, Gigi's got to show that he's got versatility on the defensive end of the floor, and he's more than just an undersized big man, because that is not a prototype that is in high demand in the NBA these days. Offensively, he's got versatility. He can put it on the floor. He can shoot it a little bit. those skills are going to continue to develop. They project onto the next level. But it's defensively where he's got to show his versatility, because his best position is at the 4. But you've got to be somewhat switchable and mobile to play that spot at the highest level, and that's what he is still yet to show.
It is a race to the money, and our team continues to win. Adam, we appreciate you stopping by as always.
Thank you.
And for more sprawling coverage across the recruiting and collegiate landscape, be sure to join our team at 24/7 Sports. All the commitments, the transfers, everything in between, it's all coming your way with our team at 24/7 Sports. And don't forget, got to tap into the #1 podcast in all of college hoops. That's the Eye on College Basketball podcast. Matt Norlander, Gary Parrish, day in and day out, taking you through the latest across college hoops, including big-time commitments and what it means for the season to come. Download and enjoy the Eye on College Basketball podcast.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.